In today's video, I'm going to be going over something that I think is probably the most important and integral thing to Dragon's Dogma 2, and that's going to be about your camping. Knowing how to camp and what camping entails can mean the difference between a really fun and cool adventure in Dragon's Dogma 2, or just dying over and over again because you can't work out why you keep getting left in the lurch out in the wilderness with absolutely no hope of surviving your enemy onslaughts. Now, the first thing you want to know with camping is going to be how to actually obtain your camping kits. They can actually be acquired through several means. Sometimes you'll find them out in the wilderness, sometimes you'll find them out when you're questing, sometimes you'll be actually handed them as part of a quest reward, but the best place I've found if you need to purchase your own is going to be to one of your kind of central towns and looking for the apothecary shop. That's going to be this one right here, the one that's got a potion symbol. So we're going to travel over to him and I'll show you exactly what we're after. If you look for his wares, you can see that there's a lot of different types of camping kits available, and a general rule of thumb that I'd go by would be that the more costly the item is, most times it means it's slightly better. The reason there's such a wide variety of camping kits is because they can actually be destroyed, because every time you set out to camp, there's a chance that you'll be raided by enemies. When that happens, the kit is very often destroyed when it's one of the cheaper ones, whereas when it's one of the more expensive ones, you have more of a chance of it actually surviving and you being able to use the same kit over and over again. However, from what I've seen, eventually they will all break because it is down to a little bit of luck, so pick and choose the ones you want depending on how much gold you've got available. Now, these items are very heavy, so you will need to kind of tailor them to your needs, and I find dishing them out between your party definitely works the best. So for the intent of this video, I'm going to chuck on just some of the basic. We're going to purchase just some of the cheap and cheerful ones, then we're going to head over to our inventory, and as you can see here now, my weight is very heavy, which means you're going to get absolutely massacred in battle and everything's going to be just a whole bunch harder. So one of the things you want to get used to will be to dishing out your inventory to the pawns within your team. As you can see, we're going to be scrolling through some of our items, we're going to be having a little look what character we can give them over to, and if you can, try to keep them under that heavy weight limit, as they'll suffer the same kind of deficits that you will otherwise. Now, if we jump out into the open plains and get into a little battle, you're going to see one of the reasons that you'll want to definitely make sure you've always got camping available for yourself is because your health bar, as you can see just above your stamina bar, will get depleted as you're getting into battles. As far as I've seen, you can never find an item that can fully replenish this, you can only replenish the health that goes up to the grey bar. Anything other than that means that you cannot get this back unless you've rested an inn or of course a campfire. Now, the campfires dotted around the world are going to be this symbol just here, literally like an open flame, and you're going to want to go up to them and press this option where you can make camp. Or you can also use it to change over the allocated skills that you and your main pawn currently have equipped. The great thing about this, if you look at your statuses, I haven't actually got any on me, but say you've got things that are a little bit debilitating, this will take them away, so you won't need to waste any items curing yourself. Then you're going to rest up, you're going to choose the camping kit that you want to use. Remember, these can be lost, so decide which one you want to go with. And then once you're at your camp, you can look at your tent, and at any time you can rest, go to sleep, and that's going to fully revitalise your whole team. If however you wanted to be a little bit more powerful, say for example you're going out on a long adventure, a long mission, or just taking on some of the biggest baddies in the game, you can go over to the pot in the middle of the campfire and select to cook any of the meat you've acquired. This is going to show a cool looking cutscene which makes me very hungry pretty much every time I see it, but it's also going to give you whatever benefits was from that piece of meat and will put your conditions on your characters and your whole team. These buffs are actually very handy and very powerful and can really help you to dominate some of the tougher content near the end of the game. Now remember, every time you make camp there is a chance that you will be raided by enemies. I did this probably about 5 or 6 times in this spot and couldn't seem to get any to attack me, but eventually they did, and I think if you're in a more kind of open area which usually has enemies roaming around it, they're more frequently going to attack you. Whereas at the way campsites you seem to get slightly less, but eventually you will always get that random encounter of them raiding your camp. When this happens, you're going to want to make sure you take them out, obviously pick up all the loot because that's how you're going to sell them on, make yourself a bit of money, probably buy another camping kit with the funds. But if we go up to the campfire, if you have a little look, the one that we're using has now completely gone because it broke in the process. This won't always be the case, the more expensive ones tend to stick around for a little while, but eventually they do all break, so kind of buy and distribute what you want depending on your funds. But yeah, I found knowing all of this helps me out massively within the game as I went, and honestly, now that I do, it's made the whole process a whole bunch easier. Hopefully that's helped a few of you guys and girls out. There'll be a lot more content on the way from me, hints, tips, guides, some of the best items that you should be looking for, and as always, for all things gaming, take care. I'll see you on the next day.